distinguished members of civil servants, past and present, and the other friends who are all watching this program. Sisters and brothers, I am very happy to release the book Public Service Ethics, A Quest for Naitik Bharat by Sri Prabhat Kumar ji, published by IC Center for Governance. As the former governor of Jharkhand and as an eminent civil servant who had served the highest level as the Cabinet Secretary to Government of India, Sri Prabhat Kumar has a rich experience of almost 50 years in public service. At the outset, my compliments to the author for his efforts to bring about this book. Friends, the topic chosen by Sri Prabhat Kumar ji is indeed very important and pertinent to public discourse. All over the world, there is a growing perception that ethical values are diminishing. Why perception? Nearer to the reality also. Every profession in the economic, social and political arenas has experienced the ill effects of the erosion of normative principles and values. Even in governance, there is a decline in values, general decline, and many instances of corruption also. We have almost 70 plus years of our experience after independence. The book deals with ethics in governance and in public service and proposes a collective quest for ethical India or Naitik Bharat. That's why I feel that it's an important book to read, to be read, because the person who has written this book is known for his integrity, commitment to the cause of the nation, and also who followed ethics during his service in public life. I am happy that it does not just talk about the problems and crisis of ethics. It gives practical and positive suggestions and informs a civil servant how to head in the right direction. The civil administration is a key outcome of our task of nation building. And the visionary former Deputy Prime Minister, Sri Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, has rightly described it as the steel frame of India. Indeed, India has seen many illustrious civil servants who have gone beyond their call of duty and worked tirelessly for the development of the nation. Most recently, during the COVID-19 pandemic, civil servants from the highest level to the lower level, they rose to the occasion and worked with dedication to mitigate the hardships caused to the people. The doctors, the scientists, the farmers even, the policemen, security people, sanitary workers, and other frontline warriors served tirelessly to ensure that the essential services were unaffected and people in their need are attended to. My dear friends, you are all aware, corruption eats into the heart of our democracy, weakening our institutions and adversely impacting the development of our nation. public trust in the government too gets affected if the funds earmarked for the welfare measures get diverted or diluted. Thus, the erosion of ethics in public life directly affects the biggest stakeholder, the common man. We need to show zero tolerance against corruption, zero tolerance at all levels. It is not sufficient if the Prime Minister is honest, or the ministers are honest, or the Cabinet Secretary is honest, or secretaries are honest. Everybody in the system must be honest. We need to show this zero tolerance at all levels. Apart from the stringent implementation of the Prevention of Corruption Act and fast-tracking cases against civil servants and public representatives, we have to ensure total transparency. The fast-tracking of cases related to civil servants and public representatives is very important. It assumes more importance because more and more instances are coming to the fore. But unfortunately, we have been talking about it, but we are not able to walk about it sufficiently, timely. Number of cases that are pending at various levels for years, and also number of cases pending about the public representatives. It doesn't go well for democracy. Country, the nation as a whole, and all people of different layers of the administration, top of it is political leadership, judiciary, must take steps to see that these cases involving civil servants and involving public elected representatives deserves priority and more attention. We have to ensure total transparency and accountability. पारदर्शिकता और जवाबदेही बहुत जरूरी है. This is the need of the hour to eliminate human interface in the delivery of various services through robust use of information technology. Why should one come to the office, the public? They are not seeking favors. They are asking for what is due to them, what has been promised in law, what has been approved by Parliament or the state legislature. Then why should anybody come here? I always say in lighter vein, why should anybody come here, stand in line, wait in queue, meet and greet, shake hand or do something in between hand? This is a very important question. If you don't have people waiting, that means you are doing your duty. We need to have effective grievance redress mechanism. Fortunately, we have information technology. One can apply online and get reply online. Need not stand in line or wait in line. We should all, at all levels of administration, must think about it. Before going to bed, every civil servant or politician must think whether he has performed his duty or not. Then only go to sleep. In this process, due attention must be given to ensure that civil servants take bona fide proactive actions, take appropriate action, and bona fide proactive actions are not discouraged. This is also very important for the people who are in the administration, particularly at the governance in the political level, are harassed. We see sometimes people are harassed. We have taken good and proactive steps in the larger interest of the people, taking advantage of some sections. People are being harassed. It's a fact. But at the same time, you need effective law and its proper implementation, because it should deter the public servants, including elected representatives. If they do wrong, if they indulge in corruption, wrongdoings, they will be held responsible. This fear also has to be there. The amendment to the Public Prevention of Corruption Act in 2018, with the changes to the definition of criminal misconduct, ensures this to some extent. But the people who work honestly, they must be further reassured. While the corrupt civil servants must be strictly dealt with, zero tolerance, we must not dissuade officials from taking bold decisions in the larger public interest. In fact, we must celebrate honest civil servants and recognize their innovations and contributions. Some of the younger civil servants I see and read across the country, beautiful, innovative ideas in implementations, various programs of the government, of the center and the state. This will not only be an incentive for younger officials to push for excellence, but such publicity will also encourage the replication of innovative efforts by others. I had occasion to go through the innovative ideas and services rendered by many of the civil servants across the country during my tenure as Rural Development Minister and more particularly Urban Development Minister, Swachh Bharat. Many of the officers, they came with innovative ideas, reaching out to the people, interacting with the people, understanding the grievances and addressing the grievances. So, such contributions must be highlighted by media, by the legislature, Parliament, Assembly, and also by the appropriate agencies recognizing the heroic act of such servants. Friends, while such initiatives will help in changing the mindset of the people and encouraging individuals to imbibe ethical values, we must realize that good governance ultimately thrives on good institutions. The author also makes a case for institutional ethics in addition to individual ethics. The first foundational step in ensuring probity in public life is to impart value-based training to all public servants. Why public servants? Even right from the school, the values, the ethics, the cultural ethos of our country, they should be taught to our children. I remember during my childhood, we used to have a moral class. I don't know whether it exists now or not. In the same way, as per the recommendations of the Second Administrative Reforms Commission, we need to rethink our conduct rules and evolve a comprehensive civil service code based on strong foundational values such as integrity, honesty, and objectivity. There is also need to re-engineer our institutions and streamline the process to cut down delays and ensure timely delivery of the services. People must be at the center of just and effective governance system. Some of the governance practices that helped in delivering results are single window surfaces, e-governance, m-governance, third-party appraisals, direct benefit transfer, and participatory governance, among others. Everything should be directly transferred to the people. Whatever changes that are required, they have to be brought in. All these governance mechanisms ensure two things. One, they improve the quality of service delivery and improve the ease of living for the people. Ease of living. First, ease of living. That takes them to happiness. What is required is happiness at the end of the day. Two, they are intrinsically promote transparency and accountability in our process, leaving less to the discretion of serving officials. They do not give scope for any conflict of interest. Thus, it is very pertinent to reshape our government's models in line with modern aspirations of the people. Aspirations are rising. And they are able to know what is happening across the globe, across the country, and across the society. So naturally, expectations are rising high. And if there is a good performing government, the aspirations will rise further high. We are seeing what is happening too. The present Prime Minister has brought in a lot of changes. He gave a 3-line mantra: reform, perform, and transform. Transformation of the nation, transformation of the system, transformation for the betterment of the people. And so many things are given. I am not here to state all of them, but still people want more. The reason is because you are delivering. Naturally, it's quite... But there is no way people's expectations can be stopped. They have experience in their life. Unfortunately, we have experience which is given by our forefathers. Combine that, the people's aspirations, they start rising. We, in the governance model at any level, at various levels, must strive hard to reach out the aspirations of the people. It is very pertinent to reshape our governance models in line with the modern aspirations of the people. While keeping the bureaucratic system light, transparent, and agile, we need to fully implement the Prime Minister's exhortation: minimum government, maximum governance. Even in the administration, with my little experience, see, instead of writing on the files and waiting for the file to come, why not the officers discuss among themselves and find solutions, raise queries in the meetings, and then come with the redressal and answers to those queries, so that we can fast track. I have some experience. I used to have 9 or 10 joint secretaries and secretary. I used to tell them every day, sit together, discuss. And then whatever you want to write, of course, if you have a different opinion, you can write. But before that, let there be discussion. That has really helped in the functioning of my ministry. And also I used to take all these 9 joint secretaries, secretary, additional secretary, to various state capitals, instead of people, chief ministers coming here and calling on the minister and then saying, sir, this is due, this is due, this is due, release funds. We used to go prepared, discuss 2-3 days in advance where we are going, what are the issues pending, and what are the responses, and then take the release order along with us. This has really helped a lot, particularly in the rural development. People in the administration, they must always think in terms of making people's life more comfortable. They must be more creative, they must be constructive, and they technology enabled so that you can offer better services. The mission Karma Yogi, started by the Prime Minister, to enable the Indian civil servants to meet future challenges by making him more creative, techno-savvy. That will really help standards of public servants. In other words, this scheme aims to build a citizen-centric and future-ready service for the nation. This is certainly the need of the hour, and I hope that this mission is pursued earnestly. Finally, I wish to highlight that ethical conduct implies not just abiding to the letter of the law, but an unflinching adherence to our constitutional values too. Friends, Indian civil servants should strive to make India's civil service the best in the world. The world is looking to India nowadays. They need to come out with innovative ideas and solutions to deliver public services to the satisfaction of our citizens. Many of the visiting prime ministers, other dignitaries, they told that many of them are studying our reforms. Some of them personally told me also during my interaction. They are very much impressed by the reforms. The right ecosystem should be created to ensure that everyone who is doing his job sincerely have a meaningful career and are able to fulfill their responsibilities without fear or favor. Once again, I am very happy to release this book by Sri Prabhat Kumar. I understand that even after his long career with the government, he has remained active in various pursuits for good and ethical governance and has been the president of the IC Center for Governance. I feel the best officer in the municipal administration should be on the streets before the sunrise. Must go to bed after everybody goes to bed. And must have zero tolerance towards corruption, any officer. And must have zero pendency by the end of the day from his side. And also must have a pro-poor approach. Must have a bias for the rural people because they constitute 60% of the population. They are prone to vagaries of monsoon, market forces, machinations, and also must be sympathetic to the cause of the woman, the downtrodden. Because these are all vulnerable sections, marginal sections. So the civil servants must have priority for those sections. I also feel that there is a great scope for the retired civil servants to share their rich experience and knowledge with young officers and motivate them. My compliments to the publishers and IC Center for Governance for their efforts in bringing out this book. Finally, as the author suggests, going forward we need a social movement for an Naitik Bharat, a moral resurgence. We are known for our morals, for our ethics. That's how people respect Indian culture. So we must again work in the direction of a moral resurgence. Such a movement for ethical action should encompass all walks of life: civil servants, public representatives, engineers, doctors, advocates, teachers and journalists, among others. It is my fervent belief that orientation towards ethical conduct should be ingrained from an early age, right from school days, as I said. By teaching ethics and moral values to children, there can be no greater source of inspiration. I am happy the new education policy lays emphasis in that direction. One of the last notes left behind Gandhiji, as we all are aware, in 48, expressing his deepest social thought, is his talisman. He said, "I will give you a talisman. Whenever you are in doubt or when the self becomes too much with you, apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest man whom you may have seen, and ask yourself if the step you are contemplating is going to be of any use to him. Will it restore him to a control over his own life and destiny? In other words, it will lead to Swaraj for the hungry and spiritually starving millions. Then you will find your doubts melting away." Unquote. It is amazing that this talisman is more relevant today than ever, and what Mahatma Ji wrote can guide civil servant or any other responsible citizen when faced with such an ethical dilemma. Keeping this in mind, let us all strive together for a moral resurgence in every profession, including education, healthcare, business, industry, politics, in the delivery of services to the common people. I feel that people like Prabhat Kumar and many of you who are all sitting here, I see eminent former civil servants, you should all come out with your experience. And then, through your communicative skills, you must be able to motivate more and more youngsters. I am happy once again to release this book. Sri Prabhat Kumar ji revealed a secret that is only 80 years. Retired but not tired and continuing his service to the people. So I compliment him once again. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
May I now request Mr. Shanti Narayan to propose a vote of thanks.